Hey there guys, I just started a college class. Some of the issues that we're going to be talking about in this college class is white privilege, LGBTQ, and why we need gender neutral bathrooms in our school systems. You gotta see this. So guys, welcome to Reach. It's exciting to be here with you guys today. So yeah, I started a college course, and this is through a college here in Nebraska. And you know, as I was thinking about this college course, I just thought, man, this is something that would be cool to talk with you guys about, you know, like with those topics of white privilege, LGBTQ, why we need gender neutral bathrooms. To me, alarm bells are going off, and I'm thinking, man, are these things coming into schools more and more and more? I think it's clear to know that they are. And just to observe the changing culture and how fast things have changed. Back when I was in high school, man, we didn't talk about any of this stuff. And now it seems to be everywhere. And it's just like, man, what do we do as Christians? How do we think through some of these issues? So I just wanted to go through just a couple quick things. White privilege, what is white privilege? White privilege comes back to kind of some of the things that we talked about in our last podcast, talking about Lecrae. White privilege is this idea that all white people are intrinsically privileged because we are the oppressors and we have oppressed all sorts of minorities and stuff like that. And so you as a white person, or me as a white person, we have this privilege, and so we should listen to other people first. We shouldn't really talk, and we should have this guilt put on us. Even though we haven't done anything to marginalize people in our whole lives, we have this white privilege, and we have this intrinsic sin that we have just by the virtue of the color of our skin. So that is white privilege. And on here, you know, we had to read some articles about how to be allies, which is political, which is crazy to think about. This is a college course in order to be a teacher, right? So you have to be an ally for, critical race theory, which is this idea that that we need to tear down power structures in our society in order to elevate the marginalized. And it's just this idea of tearing down the system. And we had to watch this video called "My Road Trip Through the Whitest Towns in America." So pretty crazy, you know, and then we had to talk about it and stuff like that. Then we're also talking about LGBTQ youths and dealing with them. And, you know, first of all, I just wanted to say, I think we need to support and love all people, which is so true. We need to be there for people. But what's interesting is in here it says, what are some examples of LGBTQ curriculum and how can it be used in the classroom? This is crazy. And this is pushing LGBTQ stuff in the classroom. And that to me is, that's a red flag, you know? What can you do to become an LGBTQ ally? A glossary of all the different terms, how to support. Man, this kind of reminds me of this idea that, you know, a lot of Christians, they think, you know, there's this culture war happening, and, you know, but I'm not really going to be involved with it. I'm going to sit on the sidelines, and I'm just going to, you know, watch the fireworks happen. But I'm going to stay back here where it's, you know, because I want to be nice. You know, that's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt be nice as a Christian. But what's crazy is, and this is one thing that I'm convicted in, if you see this culture war happening and you don't do anything about it, the culture war is still going to happen. And one side is going to win or going to lose. And so are you just going to sit back and allow whatever it is to be, you know, pushed? Or are you going to stand up for Jesus Christ? A couple things I learned really quickly, and then we'll talk about why we need gender neutral bathrooms, which is a crazy topic. As I've been doing this class, I have been really challenged to stand firm in my faith and not to self-censor myself, you know, and just to say in a nice way, in a kind way, but just to voice my opposition. And I've done that. And it's been cool to get some of the responses of my other classmates saying, yeah, I'm a Christian too. And I think some of it has come from when I've been bold and I've been willing to say what it is that I believe, that other people have said, okay, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in too. And it's given courage to other people around me, which I think is so cool. Another one is, we shouldn't self-censor ourselves. And what I mean by that is, just because somebody has a different view than us doesn't mean that we should just not say anything, that we should self-censor ourselves, that we shouldn't say what we believe just because there's opposition around us. We actually miss out on God's blessing, I believe, when we self-censor ourselves. Now, one more thing here. I just wanted to talk about gender-neutral bathrooms really quickly. We had to watch a TED Talk on why we need gender-neutral bathrooms. And this is a really interesting topic. She pretty much just says in the TED Talk that that all public places should have a brand new restroom put in called gender-neutral, where they can go in and they can have this. And I kind of responded by just saying, I don't believe that. I actually believe that one of the most harmful things that is happening to teenagers today is this modern radical gender theory that is being pushed on students, that they have to that there's a gender spectrum and that this is all fluid. And I just read an article this morning about a girl who is suing a hospital because at the age of 13 they did radical gender theory surgery on her, and they did a double mastectomy on her as a 13 years old, and she regrets it. And I just think, wow, we are messing up kids for their whole life, because at that age they should not. They should be affirmed in who God created them to be, either male or female. And that's something that we're going to have to stand for as Christians. Otherwise, there's just going to be so much harm done to students all around us. Just wrapping this up, man, when I think about the future and where our culture is going, I think that unless Christians say no and stop this stuff, it's just going to continue being pushed through. And I know that there's tons of stats being cranked out right now where, you look back at LGBTQ identifying people in previous generations and it was so low, just because I think there was a common Christian consensus that there was just two genders, and it was wrong to think anything other than that. But now with the millennials, my generation, and even beyond that there is a spike, and it's almost like an element of social contagion, where now that this stuff is being allowed and propagated and even pushed, hey, you got to be an ally, there are all sorts of teenagers and younger people that are getting on this bandwagon, and it's hurting them for the rest of their lives. So that's all I got for us today. See you guys.